Marcus Chen wiped the sweat from his brow as he finished stacking the last crate of supplies in the dim warehouse. Earth's outer colonies were harsh places, and Station Kepler 442 was no exception. The mining outpost clung to the edge of civilized space like a barnacle on a ship's hull, populated mostly by those who had nowhere else to go. It was during his evening walk through the market district that Marcus heard the crying. Two small figures huddled behind a stack of discarded shipping containers, their oversized cloaks doing little to hide their trembling forms. As he approached, they looked up with eyes that seemed too large, too luminous for their gaunt faces. They weren't human. Their skin held a faint bluish tint, and delicate patterns like frost on a window traced across their cheeks. Marcus recognized them immediately as Ivathians, though he'd never seen their kind on this forgotten station before. "Please," the older one whispered in heavily accented standard. She couldn't have been more than 8 human years equivalent. "We hide, they come." Marcus didn't ask who they were. On stations like this, there were always predators hunting the vulnerable. He made a decision that would change everything. "Come with me," he said simply, extending his calloused hand. The girls, Lysa and Kira, moved into his cramped apartment that night. Marcus learned their story in fragments over the following weeks. Their parents had been diplomats, killed in a shuttle accident. With no immediate family and bureaucratic nightmares preventing their return home, they'd fallen through the cracks of multiple systems until ending up here, alone and afraid. Marcus wasn't a wealthy man. He worked 14-hour shifts maintaining the station's aging life support systems. But he shared what he had. He taught them to read standard better, showed them how to fix broken circuits and patch pressure suits. He made sure they ate before he did, that they were warm when the station's heating fluctuated. Lisa, the elder, proved brilliant with mathematics. Kira had an artist's soul, drawing elaborate patterns that reminded Marcus of fractals and quantum equations all at once. He encouraged them both, scraping together credits for second-hand data pads and art supplies. "Why do you help us?" Lysa asked one evening 2 years after they'd met. "We are not your people. We are not even your species." Marcus looked up from the nutrition pack he was heating. "Because you needed help and I could give it. That's reason enough." The years passed. The girls grew. Marcus grew grayer. 5 years after that first night on an ordinary Tuesday, 3 figures in dark suits appeared at his door. "Marcus Chen?" the lead agent asked, showing credentials from Earth's diplomatic corps. "You need to come with us immediately." Marcus's heart sank. After all this time, were they taking the girls away? But at the spaceport he stopped dead. A ship dominated the landing pad, its hull gleaming with an opalescence that shifted through colors he couldn't name. It was beautiful in a way that made human vessels look like crude toys. "What is this?" he asked. "A Royal Ivathian diplomatic vessel," the agent replied, barely concealing her awe. "They've been searching for the princesses for 7 years." Marcus felt the ground tilt beneath him. "Princesses?" The agent nodded. "Princess Lysa and Princess Kira of the Ivathian core worlds. Their parents weren't just diplomats. They were the Duke and Duchess of the 7th Fleet. When they died and the girls vanished, it nearly caused an interstellar incident. The ship's boarding ramp descended with a hiss of equalizing pressure. Lisa emerged first, now a poised young woman in flowing robes of midnight blue threaded with silver. Kira followed, her ceremonial dress covered in patterns Marcus recognized from her childhood drawings. Behind them walked figures that could only be royal guards, and then an elderly Ivathian whose bearing spoke of immense authority. "Marcus," Lisa said, and despite all the formality, her voice cracked. She ran to him, Kira close behind, and suddenly they were the scared children he'd found all those years ago, hugging him tight. "We never forgot," Kira whispered. "We told them everything. How you saved us, how you gave us a home when no one else would." The elderly Ivathian approached. "I am Lord Castellan Varix, regent of the core worlds until Princess Lysa comes of age." He bowed deeply, and Marcus understood this was significant. "You preserved the royal line of Evath. You gave these children not just survival but love, education, and dignity. The debt we owe cannot be measured in any currency." "I didn't do it for a reward," Marcus said quietly. "We know," Lysa said, pulling back to look at him with those luminous eyes now filled with a maturity born of returned memory and royal duty. "That's exactly why you're being rewarded." Lord Varix gestured to the ship. "The Ivathian Parliament has voted unanimously. You are hereby granted the title of Duke, given estates on our capital world, and offered a position as cultural ambassador between our peoples. Moreover, an endowment has been established in your name to help orphans and refugees across all space stations in this sector. Marcus looked at the magnificent ship, at the assembled dignitaries, at the 2 girls he'd raised who were now princesses. I don't need titles or estates. We know, Kira said, smiling through tears. But we need you. Lysa will be crowned in 2 years, and I'm to head the Royal Academy of Arts. We want you there. We want our father there. That word, father, broke through Marcus's composure. Tears rolled down his weathered face. Besides, Lisa added with a mischievous grin that reminded him of a 10-year-old girl solving impossible equations at his kitchen table, someone needs to keep teaching us. You always said we had more to learn. Marcus looked at this impossible scene, at the life being offered, at the 2 young women who'd transformed from frightened orphans into royalty, but still looked at him with the same trust and love they'd shown that first night. When do we leave? He asked. The Royal Starship rose from Kepler 4042 an hour later, carrying a man who'd only wanted to help 2 lost children, and who'd somehow changed the course of 2 civilizations by simply being kind. In the end, humanity's greatest strength was never its weapons or its technology. It was the simple, profound choice to extend a hand to those in need, regardless of who they were or what they might become. And sometimes the universe remembered to say thank you.